Hi everyone, welcome to Kavitha's Sugar and Spice. Today we'll be making Chana Masala, the perfect combination with Batura. Um, those two are like made for each other combination. So let's see how we do Chana Masala. I have soaked this 1 cup of Kabuli chana or white chana overnight for 8 hours. Now let me wash it and transfer it into a cooker. So in the pressure cooker, I'm pouring water as much as it covers the chana. That's all we need. So we don't want too much of water. So next we'll add half a teaspoon of salt. And another thing that I'm going to add is a tea bag. This is just for the color. It gives a different color, nice dark color for the curry. This is totally optional. If you have one, you can add it. Otherwise, that's totally fine, and we'll remove it once it's cooked. Now our chana is cooked. Let's remove that tea bag. It did not give us a deep black color or anything, but slightly brownish tint. Which is more than enough. So let's keep a saucepan on the stove top and add some oil to it. I'm using a cast iron pan here, which is totally optional, but there is absolutely some benefits in using this cast iron pan. It can add significant amount of iron to your food and into your bodies. But at the same time, all curries may not taste great in this cast iron, like our regular sambar or our fish curry may not taste great. So you have to pick which one you're cooking in this cast iron pan. Anyway, so I am going to add some spices into this oil. I'm adding all the spices as is except the cardamom. I've crushed the cardamom, made it into a powder. So saute it for like 2 minutes or so, and then we can add our cumin seeds. So we have used only 2 tablespoons of oil here. So make sure it doesn't burn. Keep stirring it in a very low flame. Once it's cooked or sauteed for 2 or 3 minutes, now we can add our onions. So let's add our chopped onions. Mix it well. To speed up the process, we can add some salt, which we always do. Stir it, cover it, and cook for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, our onions are translucent. At this point, we can add our crushed ginger and garlic. Mix it well. Remember, because this is a cast iron saucepan that I'm using, everything will get cooked pretty fast compared to regular non-stick or steel saucepan. So let's cook it for 5 minutes. Okay, now our onion and ginger garlic mixture is perfectly cooked. We can add all our masalas at this point. Adding 2 teaspoons of coriander powder, half teaspoon of chili powder. I'm using only half teaspoon because this is a really spicy one. Then I'm adding 1 full teaspoon of garam masala and 1/4 teaspoon of cumin powder. And next one is not a very common powder. It's called amchur powder. Amchur powder means it's a powder of raw or a green mango. It's a special ingredient or a key ingredient of chana masala. If you don't want to use any of these masalas, you can just buy a store-bought chana masala powder. But you want to cook it this way, but you have everything else except amchur, then you can use maybe 1 or 2 teaspoons of lime juice. So that will give you same kind of taste. So remember, this amchur gives you a different kind of flavor for chana masala. Now let's cover and cook this until the raw smell goes. Now our masala is cooked. I'm going to add our green chilies and 2 cups of tomatoes. I'm specifically saying 2 cups of tomatoes, not 2 tomatoes. So whatever the size is, I want you to add 2 cups because this curry needs a little bit of sourness, so that's the amount we need. It's sticking a little bit on the bottom, so I'm going to add 1 more tablespoon of oil. If it's a non-stick pan, this wouldn't happen, but that's okay. It gives an extra taste with the cast iron. So let's saute it again, cover and cook it for another 5 minutes until the tomatoes are soft. Our tomatoes are cooked now. We are going to add this water into this mixture. This is the water we use to cook our chana. That's why it's slightly brown in color. Another thing I wanted to mention was, some people when they cook chana, they add a little bit of baking soda into the pressure cooker. This will make the chana puff up a little bit, which is totally optional. I haven't done that. If you want, you can do that. So we have 4 cups of cooked chana here from 1 cup soaked chana. And before we add that, let's add some salt to this mixture and let's cover it and let it boil for a while. Now our gravy is boiling. We can add our chana into this gravy. Make sure the chana is perfectly cooked before you add, because the gravy is a sour gravy. Once you add the chana, this may not get cooked in that, so it should be cooked before you add it. Another tip I want to tell you guys is that some people take this chana from the mixture and a little bit, maybe like 1 or 2 tablespoon of chana, and mix it in a blender and add it to the gravy for extra thickness. I am not doing that. I feel, if it cook it for some time, it will have enough thickness. So let's cover and cook it for a while. We cooked it for 10 minutes and I turned the stove off and I kept it covered for another 10 minutes. So it's perfectly cooked now. It's thick enough. Meanwhile, I tasted the curry and I felt the sourness was a little bit less, so I added half a teaspoon of amchur powder. Now let's add some coriander leaves. Once you add coriander leaves, stir it and keep it covered for another 10 minutes. That way the flavor gets into it. I've transferred our chana masala into the serving dish. It's a great combination with Batura or Poori. Please do try it and let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.